More you'll find record.
Yeah, got it.
Okay, there
So,
we go.
um, I'll just introduce here. This is the power of the pen for what is this month? March 19th,
Oh no.
2026. And Lauren Mooney Bear, past president of AHOF, and I guess you're chair of uh, the
Cursive is cool.
yeah, the cursive in schools, or the what is that called?
Well, it's the Campaign for Cursive
Yeah,
Initiative, and the
yes.
contest is called Cursive is Cool.
Okay.
Yes, there we
Yeah.
are.
Cursive. Yes. Anyway, there's I'm very interested in this because it's both for beginners and for advanced, and there's a lot some the handwriting samples that we all love to examine are that I'm understanding that's what we're going to be kind of looking at, having quite a number.
Yes, yep,
So
for sure.
I'll
Well, we
just
have a
turn it
few.
right over to Lauren. Thanks, Lauren.
All right, all right. So, uh, first of all, I started this topic because I've since a young child been self-conscious of my handwriting. It's bothered me for years. It's chicken scratch, and I knew it because everyone else, my family had good writing, and I had nothing. So, just as a precursor, I was in I don't know, I was 11 years oldish, and I started a social experiment at school where I had this notebook, and I lied to my mom about getting it. I'll tell you that right now. I told her I needed a notebook for school, right? So she's thinking it, it's an assignment. It was an assignment I gave myself, a social experiment. And I called it a blab book, and I wrote blab book on the front, and in each page there was a question, and the kids could write the answer to their question on it, and in the very back they would write their name under their number. So it was sort of anonymous to a point. In any case, I was trying to figure out how to uh, how to relate to people. I'm kind of a nerd. I liked books, and not most of the kids my age weren't booky. So the questions were, what's your favorite color? Do you like zippers or buttons? What's your favorite food? Children type stuff. And I was passing it around. Everyone is excited to fill it out. And they said, some girls got it and said, whose handwriting is this? This is terrible. I would hate to be that person. I would hate to be that person.
Wow.
And I realized that it took me a minute, but I realized slow on the uptake here that they were talking about my handwriting because it was my notebook. And I had rewritten all these questions out there, pre-written them. So I started trying to change my handwriting at that age and to make it more perfect. And so, I failed miserably, but that's okay. That's probably a good thing that I failed miserably. So it dawned on me after I studied graphology, graphoanalysis, and then graphology, Gestalt, that what I was doing was covering up for my insecurities and for my guilt or shame for not having right handwriting. So that's what I'm writing. That's what I wrote about in this book is all the ways that we cover up for ourselves and um, what they mean. And because we often will look at someone's handwriting and say, "Oh, they're hiding stuff. They must be they must be bad people." And I thought that about myself for a long time because I had the hooded A's because I was trying to make it like print. When I've read that I was hiding something, I was trying to figure out what it was I was hiding. Went to
Sounds like a persona.
Massa.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it would be for an 11-year-old, maybe. I remember going to to not mass, but oh shoot, the word escaped me. Confessional. And I was worried that I didn't have stuff to confess. So then I made stuff up, but then I felt worse. So I would confess that I was making stuff up. So I'm like, actually, I didn't do that. I lied. But if I go home and steal a cookie, will that make it okay? So different ways we hide
Yeah.
who we are, or how actually our emotions is what we're hiding. Who we are is who we are, but it's our emotions, our feelings of shame, our feelings of guilt, that all humans have, reasonably or unreasonably so. I know Roger touched on that in his chapter as well. And so, it's a basic human thing. We are all in a chrysalis and we are all changing all the time. That's the nature of our being. So that's self-preservation, the survival of the fittest, some call it, but it's just really pretty much human nature. So we turn our coat to the wind. That's a self-preservation. We put up an umbrella. It's self-preservation. We put mittens on. We don't want frostbite. We're covering over our physical body to preserve our body, to preserve who we are. So that happens in emotions as well. It happens when we're playing games with kids. We play hide and seek, and we know the best spots in our yard, but we're at a disadvantage in someone else's yard. And so we use the spaces given to us in our handwriting and in our lives to cover up what we feel is not right, even if it's fine to everybody else, or to express what we feel is wonderful. That's a spatial thing. And I forgot who wrote in the book about margins. Shoot, can't remember. Somebody did a whole chapter in the book about margins, and I thought
I think it was Barbara Donato.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's another thing, is we use space in it reveals our unconscious feelings about the future and the past, and what may be coming up and what might be distant past. If we're running away from it, or if we long for it, we see that in our margins. And those are ways that we can hide our insecurities. Clinging to the past, we are insecure about the future. Running to the future, we might have things in the past we want to leave behind. I think we all have things in the past we would be happy that they stayed there. And that shows up in our margins. So top to bottom, if our writing is way at the bottom, then we may be doing the same, excited for the future. And we may at the same time, we're turned a new chapter. Something else is staying behind us. Of course, Chinese, Japanese, the other writings that are top to bottom, right to left, the same principles apply. They're just in reverse, because that's how they look at life. So anyone have anything to interject? So please do. Please.
I
questions.
I was just thinking how I love how you're really showing how natural it is for us to hide things, and it's not always something bad that's being covered up. It's natural to, and so to be looking at the whole kind of the whole nature. A sensitive person is not necessarily hiding something bad.
Not, yeah, exactly.
That's really, I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's we're not all embezzlers, and we don't all have body parts in our freezers.
Mhm.
I actually said that to somebody once. I went on a date and I had to look at their handwriting and said, well, you don't have any body parts in your freezer. And that was pretty much a non-starter. But you know, I'm not that good with words. So
I gotta use
Good,
that
good
someday.
tip. Good tip there, Lauren.
Good line.
well, first of all, to ask somebody if you're going to go on a date, you know, in that situation, that you want to see their handwriting first. You know, you're might be thought of as a little kooky. Unless they know, unless they already know. Hopefully that's the case. Because it
No,
becomes part of our lives.
One
I
way
love
I
your
heard of this.
approach because your approach is perfect because it's not a negative. We're looking at how people work inside, and it's not a negative, which it's a way to understand what brought you to want to hide those things.
Hmm.
That's all.
Yeah.
I remember my sister giving me her husband's handwriting before they were married. You talk about a hot potato.
Oh, my sister, before she married this last time, gave me his handwriting. And whenever she was dating, she would give me the fella's handwriting. And I could tell, except for this one guy, but I could just tell her, I could say, you know what, you date who you are drawn to and who you feel. I can tell you certain things about this person. I can't tell you everything. And in the end, it's your decision. Don't, you know, I'm not, I'm not
Do you know the
decision maker.
statement? You know the original statement, opposites attract? I think it was in Greek or Latin. Do you know what the whole thing is? Opposites attract in order to destroy
Huh.
is the entire Greek or Latin system. And my favorite statement is you can stand what you can understand. That's why you have someone look at your handwriting.
Yes, yeah, it's about understanding.
Yeah.
You know, in this particular situations, my sister, she won't mind I'm talking about this. They're still married, by the way. They're very different. She's gentle and fragile, and he is a bull in a china shop. So they're very different people. And he's loud, and she's soft spoken. And we talked about that. And I said, you know, you'll have to find coping mechanisms, as will he. And a year or so into the marriage, she said, you told me that he's loud. She says, I can't stand it. I said, find coping mechanisms. I said, make sure you're talking about it, find coping mechanisms.
Mm-hmm.
That's who he is. And maybe that he can't hear well. Well, it turns out he didn't hear well. So, you know, there were certain things in his handwriting that he was reticent about, certain things in her handwriting that she was reticent about. And you can see it in their handwriting as cover strokes in some cases. And cover strokes come in a wide variety. If you take one out, it will appear that thought process and processing of emotion will appear in another part of the handwriting, unless it has been resolved. Although, you know, if it's resolved, you know, it could likely go away forever. But if not, it will, you know, we change. I may stop wearing red shoes, but red might pop up somewhere else.
Yeah.
So they're still married, thankfully, and they have learned a lot about each other, which is how should be. We learn about each other. Well, another thought is the spaces between the letters. Again, that is a spatial thing. When all of the letters are touching, you're not allowing, that person is not allowing for breathing space. They haven't allowed a release for their own feelings. And so they have a need to fill time up. I do that when I'm nervous. I start talking. I don't leave spaces. Or excited about something. I get very excited, exuberant, and I talk about it. until ad nauseum. I'm working on it. But that's a way a person will hide in a crowd as well. Let's see. I do have coming up a couple of samples here that I would like everybody to look at and tell me what they think about them. Movement is another place that we can hide our emotions and our thoughts in.
Samples of
We can
yourself?
just, yeah, I do have samples someplace. Let me hold on. Let me change this function of this page. Okay, let me share. Let me see. I have them numbered, so oh goodness, where is it? My page closed, so let me grab. My drive. Not sure how this page got closed between then and now, but you know. Current projects. Okay, here we are. Okay, let's get back to Zoom and share screen if that's okay. To share. Okay, I'm gonna share this. So, are you looking at Enter Pato?
Yes.
Okay, good deal. Hopefully that's the only thing on screen. So this is a gentleman. He's an actor. He's well-established actor. He was. Lawrenson. He was in MASH. He was in several things, a lot of things anyway. This is his hand notes for. He was in Shakespeare in the Park in Washington State, and I was working on the set in the background doing. I did theater makeup for a few years, so these are his notes. And where can you see something in his handwriting that might be a cover stroke of some sort?
Letter F has a lot of anger. The F is appears as a triangular.
Very
We
sensitive and
lost it,
touchy.
Lauren.
Yeah, I there we go.
Letter F4 at the very end. Enter
Yes,
4
and
then
here,
yes as well. So
yes,
it's not all lovey-dovey. It's the impulse of anger.
actually yes. And the when the lower loops of any kind of lower loop has triangular shape in it, it is putting pressure on an emotion. All oval shapes hold emotion. So there's one. Take a look at this right here. He's got loops and loops, and those are all emotion, and they're unclear. So there's something that is unclear. It's emotion, and there's a holding back of emotion, and you can see that in a couple of other spots right here. And retracing is also a covering of sorts. Now, he kept to himself. He was a nice guy. He kept to himself, except for when he murdered 6 people. He never murdered anybody. It's just what we hear in the news, right? He was very tired, people tired, you might say. So he lived in a little island, lived in off of Indian Island in Port Townsend, and he was very seclusive and reclusive, and he lived there with his dogs and his wife, and didn't like people except when he was acting, and then he liked people to be there because it had afforded him the opportunity to act. Does that make
You
sense?
know, yes, and the word entrance and enter, oh, all the, going down the left, his ends
Yeah.
have that extra curve on them. And that's like a carefulness around people, being careful what you're going to say before you say it. It's an arcade and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just an extra careful way of reacting to other people.
Could you
There's
explain that again,
several
please,
S's,
Judy?
several S's in there.
The,
They're
the
very yielding.
arcade on the beginning of the ends, you see the word enter and entrance in the left margin there. The little curve going onto the end is a carefulness. They're going to be careful what they say. When they enter a room, when they enter a conversation, that little curve is like their hesitation to think about something in their own head before they say it.
That's not a copybook letter.
You're talking about this
Um,
spot right here,
no, I'm talking
that
about
curve.
the curve. No, the curve before the end, the lead in. The lead in is usually small in copybook. And this is a little big. This is bigger than the copybook. Do you see that, Ruth?
I
Right here.
see it. I've never heard that before. It looks like copybook. I would drop down to where it's enter for Hal's fight, and I would give him credit for that, what I call mentally gymnastic. He has a hump and then he has a point, as opposed to doing it
Yeah,
copybook hump, hump, hump.
Mm-hmm.
right. There's no retracing, or
No.
very little
But
right here, but no
that
retracing.
first hump is like a mulling over the thought in your own head.
So
And
it's
that's
caution.
it's
Oh, I
conscious
see.
and it's a carefulness before you speak. It's not a hiding, but it's not like just spontaneously saying something.
Well, and if you look at his the T crossings, there are a few daggery spots, but this is fairly blunt. This is fairly blunt. This is fairly blunt. My first encounter with this fella, I was going into the green room and he was in there and he was fiddling around with whatever he fiddles around with in the green room. And I was getting ready to set up and he looked at me and not quite under his breath said, the public, the public. Like this room is not for the public. And he didn't know that I was part of the crew. And that's what he said, looked directly at me and said that. And I thought, oh, he's a little prickly. So that's okay. He doesn't know who I am yet. And it's okay. We got to be on good talking terms at some point. And I worked with him on a few things, but he's very proud and didn't like people unless they suited his needs. So I found that in his handwriting. When he gave me his handwriting, he was grumpy about it. He's a grumpy old guy. Um,
Well,
but he
there's
wanted to know.
a lot of insecurity in the sense where he
Yes.
crosses out the word he writes and then he crosses out in an attempt to be pleasing and appear well. So the word kind of crossed out, and then the other word blunts death, and then he writes and retraces and tries to make it look better. Also, the word stage above enter block stage, the way it's written,
Yeah.
Trying to correct. So every time he puts something, he's pulling himself back with insecurity, I guess.
I look at all the S's in there and they're very yielding. So I get the feeling of somebody who's going to defer to other people on most things.
Oh, I could see that.
Mhm.
When I see
All
what
of
I,
And it could,
all of his T's have like a hook on the left side, except for the T in stage, which
Mhm.
is intersected. It's like two T bars. So that's even more bizarre. So he's got some, I guess, anger on his goals. I mean, it's tenacity, but it's anger too. He's
Anger and fear
irritated.
and fear.
And if you look at the words that are botched, stage, death, and what's that one on the right? Security, lowest. I think it says lowest. I'm not, it's just above the word dagger. Yeah.
slowed
Oh,
Mhm.
flow.
or slow. I think that's an S. Oh, wait. Yep, you're right. Might be flow. I don't know. Let's see if I can get it.
when I see
Plus,
these,
there's also a cross out on the B in binoculars.
Mhm.
when
Oh,
I see these
yeah.
double loopings on the letters, I mean, you can see the red arrow up there, and that's evasiveness. But when you see those double loops like that, I refer to that as the public smile and the private tear. It's the internal
Mhm.
conflict from the unconscious and the conscious. On the right side, he knows stuff. On the other side, he's in denial. The public smile and the private tear.
That's a good way of putting that. I like that
And
phrase.
how does somebody
Even
putting on lipstick get you to get a handwriting, ask you for a handwriting?
I started doing it for some of the younger actors and actresses because everyone has their notes, the crib notes that they're looking at. Some of it was still their script, unfortunately, but they were just referring, and they were young. There we had actors as young as 10 and 12, I think, and so I was doing it, and then so they talked to other people, and they talked to other people, and they all wanted me to do his handwriting, and some other guy who I forgot what stage he was brought in from, but so I did like a whole troop of writings while I was there. For a week, I was there 2 weeks, I don't know, in and out and doing everybody's handwriting. I kept a
What
notebook
fun.
of it. And yeah, it was great fun. And they brought me, one girl brought me drawings of her little brother and wanted to know about him. And it was really, really fun.
Good for you.
Yeah, it was interesting. And it helped them to relax a little bit. My thinking was it will help them to relax and think about something else so that they're fresher and quicker on stage. And actually, it helped them get rid of the nerves. So there's,
He's very bright. He's very articulate, very smart. Yeah.
yeah, extremely smart. Yeah.
Also, there's quite a bit of release. I don't find that it is very contrived, like the letters fly fairly fast off the page, the way he marks them.
Yeah. It was quick writing.
Quick writing, yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. So then the next one I had here was quite a bit different. Oh, I've got his, well, I've got his name on here, and he's fine with that. I asked him about that, and he said, "Oh yeah, yeah, you put my name. In fact, I'm going to sign it twice too." So, so his sample is also in the book. What would you think
Yeah.
is a cover strokes for him? He's in his, I think he's in his 80s now.
I read somewhere where you got a capital I that's laying on its back like that is a pretty weak ego.
Oh,
Mm.
And they do lay on their backs on it in this, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Which letter?
I
Capital I.
makes a small loop and then he goes up and makes a larger loop, right?
Yeah.
You think it's written
Well,
backwards?
this one.
Is it written
It's
backwards?
possible. Well, this side is a little more tapered on this one.
Mhm.
The right side is a little more tapered, so
I think he starts on the left.
yeah, that's what I was thinking too. It's a
He's
blunter.
too old to be doing Danelian.
Yeah, he is.
He's 88, you say?
No, he's not that old, but he's in his early 80s.
Okay.
Yeah,
He has a
I
pretty
suppose
steady
that's
hand for 80s.
yes, yes, he does.
A lot of spacing.
Yeah.
Almost looks like
You
a
see
river in
this?
there. Couple
Yeah.
rivers.
Tries to keep organized, but you can see that some of his ending strokes come up and
Mhm.
gives himself boundaries, but not a lot of them.
Mhm.
I think he's very emotional and he knows that and he tries to control it by keeping some distance. So doesn't
Mhm.
overreact. I think he
Mhm.
uses that as a self-control.
Mhm.
Yes.
Do do you
Spaces
see
between the words.
yeah. Do you see the double hook in the word in the letter C in the word since? It's second, I guess it's third line down.
Oh, here.
Yeah. Is
Yeah.
that a double hook? That's sort of a like I think of that as hiding because it's a
Yes.
retrace. Oh, it does look better when you're in large, or it looks more
Yeah.
clear.
Yeah.
And I,
And I agree. That is sort of a cover over. And then
uh-huh.
he follows it up with that E with a hook on the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got a little bit of a wave going on over here with his oh, that's I guess that word might be wrote.
Wrote.
Yeah. Well,
Great.
it's
Mhm.
phonetic.
It's
Yeah.
missing the W
Yeah.
for wrote.
It's phonetically spelled. He just must have
But
missed it because he spelled it correctly down here.
He has very strange R's, small R's. And the
Mm-hmm.
word wrote and the word, yeah, twice he did wrote,
Twice.
kind of with a weird
Yeah.
R in there.
Yeah.
Look at the
Uh,
word think in that word think underneath sense. Look at how he's like using that cover stroke before he makes the K, which is like separate. It's yeah, right there.
yeah,
Is that
it does look
like
separate. Yes, he's got
yeah,
this little bow in the back of it almost
which is kind of
tied it.
following what you were looking at, those movements that were kind of coming back. But here it's not even at the end of the word. Maybe he thought it was the end.
Ah, yeah, yeah. Could be
letter
patched.
letter Y, the endings of letter Y or G, we see the strokes going downwards. So some
Here for
frustration,
sure.
whether it's many or worry or strong or any word that is ends in Y.
Ah.
It's
Oh, in the
even
ending. Okay, right
yeah, in
here.
the ending
Yes.
and even in the signature, also Y goes downwards. So I think
Go
it's
up.
a frustration some sort, right?
If you read what he says in the last two lines, he admits the spelling is not too good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, don't worry about the spelling. In case we were worried.
That's
Right.
one of my
Yeah.
strong
Now I
points.
feel better.
Yes. Oh, and
Yes.
Yeah.
in that word spelling in the G, there's that double hook again that was in the C. Do you see it
Yes.
inside the
Yes.
Yes.
Right here
inside the
and in
circle?
this one.
Yes, and
It's in several of them. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
I think because it has a point on it that there's an anger behind it, but also it's a holding back, it's an evasiveness that they
Mm-hmm.
don't want to say what's on their mind. The
Yeah.
it looks like it's an angry thing they don't want to say.
Well, it gets this particular G and a lot of the other ones too. It gets fatter and thicker, the ductus, as he comes to a blunt end going down. So it's almost building up speed. I mean, it builds speed to here and then kind of tapers off a little bit and then regains its energy, regains the energy towards the end.
Fairly
Same up
large
here.
space between sentences.
Yes, yes.
So
So
means
he
he's
does have a
staying
way of
away,
keeping space.
keeping
And
space.
And if you notice that his lead-in spaces, he does have lead-in spaces. Most of them are above the baseline, so that's healthy. Here, this one almost touches below, but that's another keeping space.
Mm-hmm.
I could even see rivers between,
Yes,
like rivers going diagonally if you
good. This
draw
way,
it.
and
Yes,
this way, and this way. You can see it.
yes,
He's got all kinds of rivers in there,
Would
trying to
you
keep
yes.
himself
would you
safe.
say
In those
the
bottom letters,
blunt?
there's quite a bit of dejection, like the Y's that are dropped down and they
Here,
over, over to the right there, down
these ones
lower.
here.
Yeah, see how the Y drops down?
Yes,
Yes,
everywhere,
yeah.
all of them.
Not
And
And
then-
feeling
in
too
his
good.
name.
Yes,
The Y endings are very blunt, even though they're not abrupt, but they're blunt. And I'm wondering if he's acting or if he's like stopping his action before he starts it. I don't know how to interpret that.
It could be a little of both. This fella tends to, his humor is a 2x4 over the head to his friends, sort of. Like when he tells jokes, his friends are the butt of the jokes in almost 90% of the cases. So he does tend to have a very blunt type of sense of humor, although you can see here that he does a little, and his T, some of his T crossings are sarcastic. So it's a balance. Well, it's not even balance, but going between the sharp, sarcastic, and the blunt in the sense of humor. And those are his ways of covering over some other emotions.
Do you know how old he is?
He's in his 80s. I think he's 82.
Okay. Because it looks like in midlife, if you look at the lower extenders where he crosses the bar, that would be like
Yeah.
45 years of age. Could have been a divorce or something.
Oh,
Could have been a divorce. He also was in service, and so he could have had some experiences in the service.
That's right.
Here is a little bit younger.
Yeah. But
yeah.
most of them are about 45.
Yeah. And here is some more of those, what we saw in here, this G here. He's got, I don't know if that's a false start. What to say?
Is that what they call cobras?
I have heard people call them various things: shark's tooth, cobras, and
Shark's
we
tooth
also have
usually with an M
these.
or N.
Oh yes, that's right. But we also have these little P's that are inflated. Which are interesting. So those
Did you say he's
are...
an actor?
No, the last guy was an actor. This guy
Okay,
is
so
not.
this is-
He's mechanic. He's a mobile mechanic, and he was a truck driver. He drove truck, and then he drove what do you call that? Tow truck also for a long time, for several decades.
He's much smarter than a truck driver.
He is. He's very sharp. Yeah, he's very sharp. So
sure
let's
is a
see what
great
we
sample
next.
of cover strokes.
Here's see. Here's the next one that we have. And how would this person be hiding in his handwriting? Or what would you see here that is maybe not up front? Good, bad, or ugly, doesn't matter.
I'd like to
Unstable
know if
in
he's
his
taking
emotions.
anything.
I'm sorry?
I'd like to know if he's taking anything.
Yeah.
Right.
Emotionally, he's on a roller coaster.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. And he pretty much lived his life like that. For his job, he is an ex-police officer. He was ex-police Seattle, one of the Seattle precincts. And then he became, after that, a physical therapist.
Oh, wow. He's trying to fix
And-
his own emotions through therapy of others.
Yes, try. Both jobs are sort of service jobs. Both jobs are supposed to be helping people, and
It
but,
looks heavy pressure. Is it heavy pressure? Would you know?
it's definitely heavy pressure. You can feel it through the back. He does everything with pressure. You can see his ovals here with the O's are compressed. So his emotions are not as soft as they could be. He's putting pressure on himself.
Many of his words slope down, so he's probably a bit of a diplomat. And being a policeman, he probably had to be.
Yeah. I wasn't around when he was in the police force, so I don't know if he was one of those friendly teddy bear type or good pet, good cop, bad cop. I don't know. I can't tell. I don't know what he was on there. I just knew him as a physical therapist.
Somebody said he might be dyslexic.
Do you
Well-
see the in the word coming from the third line up from the bottom?
Right here,
The G, yes, the G at the end.
cradling.
Yes, I've heard that something like that called as a fetal G, and
Yeah.
that it's been described as kind of a longing or kind of infantile in social development. So
I've heard it described as that as well.
mhm.
Or somebody who could appreciate or would appreciate needs to have nurturing, someone watching after them
So, and that might,
because there's some lacking.
yeah, like there's only one there, so, but it would kind of be explain the thing around having such wild emotions, like he really doesn't have self-regulation of his feelings. They're all over the place, which is basically what
Exactly.
emotional immaturity is.
Well,
Yeah,
he's
the letter,
also if he's such high pressure, if he's heavy pressure,
Mhm.
then he has all this energy that's making him jumpy.
Mhm.
And he has to, in his life, find ways to control that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just something he can't avoid that.
Yeah.
And
the
so
letter
that's something he lives with.
letter K appears twice in there, and they both are
Broken.
unusual and look like stickmen.
They're broken.
Mm.
Yeah, looks like a
Because
stickman.
yeah. And well, the context here is him trying to control a schedule.
Mm.
So this is his attempt. I don't know why it's on a round paper and looks like carpet, but that must be a photo. But trying to control his what's around him by controlling the time, the scheduling.
Was this written on a coaster?
I think so.
Okay, looks like it.
Yeah, I think so, because it's a round piece of paper.
That could have affected his writing.
definitely.
Maybe he's
Well,
had
I
a
don't
couple,
think it was.
maybe he's had a couple drinks.
Now that's highly likely. It turned out later. I'm not sure how much later than this, but he did end up with an alcohol and drug issue
Okay, yeah,
after,
that would explain a lot.
he after a back injury, he got into the painkillers and drugs and stuff, and eventually worked himself out of that. I have not seen his handwriting since. So
Yeah.
okay. Now, we were talking about persona earlier, and here we have a cover stroke that some cover strokes or protective strokes, self-protective strokes is another way of saying it, are when the entrance stroke starts below the baseline, because there's something down there that they're drawing into their drawing from their subconscious into their conscious area.
Yeah, a
And
lot
you
of
can
pressure on ups on all the T's and I's.
Yeah, a lot of pressure, feeling a lot of pressure here.
Looks kind of like a bit of an artist though, too, to me.
Yes. Yeah, she's good aesthetic. They say in the M's, the first hump is myself, the second hump is everybody else if there are only two, like in a capital. If there are three, it's myself, then you, and then everybody else. And everybody else got pinched here. But I've heard that said in graphology, how to look at the M's and N's. And of course, there are other things to look at, whether they're retraced, whether they have inverted V's, how you can look at
I
their
would say with
handwriting,
those
how broad they are.
those L's, he has a very broad philosophy.
Right.
So is this light writing? Do you know what the pressure is on this writing?
It's medium to light.
Medium? Okay.
Where does she live all of her life? I lived my whole life in something or other, Ornac.
Oh, Washington State. The Omak is a town of about 3,000 people.
Okay. Well, she's very talented. Whatever
Yes.
she's doing, she's a very talented person artistically and very gifted with words.
Yeah. She had she had brought some of her students' drawings, and showed me her students' drawings, and one of them was disturbed. And we talked about that, and she was working with him to try to get him to work through his emotions. And she could tell that because his drawings were like black scribble devil pictures. It was quite obvious that he had some issues to work with.
Talking about her favorite colors. So she must be an artist.
Yeah.
It really is interesting, all of the kind of the I's and the T's being having that pressure from below, kind of holding back, I guess. I was thinking it's kind of like she has this exuberance, but she doesn't want to bring it out. And you kind of see it, that expansiveness in her L's and O's that you were talking about. There's this, kind of, it's almost, it jumps out, and then, and yet she's trying to hold back that over exuberance and that expansiveness, I think, maybe in her imagination or in her energy or something.
Yeah. A nice mix of angles and curves. So that some of these tend to look organic.
Yeah. So this would be maybe an example of hiding her enthusiasm.
Could be
Or
hiding enthusiasm. And
yeah.
she's got this trying to contain.
Right,
Contain
right,
some
trying to
things.
contain.
Yeah.
I just was using the buzzword, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
In my studies of the visionary, she would be a conflicted creative.
Mm.
Oh, yeah, I can totally see that. Because she's got, I can totally see that. I liked your chapter. Okay, so here's another one that has some cover strokes, some protective strokes. He's got some crossouts, but that's an honest crossout. It's not trying to make it look something it's not.
You think there's some depression in this with the lines
Possibly.
going downhill?
That's possible. A lot of his writings were that way. This fellow was, I think, in his 40s or 50s when he wrote this. He was an electrician on the East Coast. Entrepreneur. He ran his own business, as far as I know, always did. He's pretty smart. As you can see here, there's a cover over going this direction, going from left to right. He's fluent, but every now and again you'll see something that's a little off. Normal, but off, you know. There's a cover as far as covering emotional stuff. And here is that the downstroke that Victor was talking about earlier.
You're still here.
Mm-hmm.
And his handwriting got a little, his last name is a little conflicted. Crossed out, but with a fluent stroke. So it's ambiguous, mixed feelings. And we are not going to have any discussions about anything we don't want to have a discussion about. Do you see this?
Yes, definitely. It's my way or no way.
My way or the highway. And it actually turned out to be, this was a very leading part. It was in hiding, like a sarcastic wit can be pulled out when a person is feeling cornered. They'll get their sarcastic, or they'll pull that sarcasm out and kind of use it as a sense of humor, but it also takes their edges off. It helps them to disperse their energy.
Oh, yeah.
So he's got that. You can see that he's got rapier looking T crossings, but he also has these little sharp, pointy parts. Very smart person, but we've got sharp edges, and that's sharp edges, and then a little bit of maybe pessimism. I wouldn't go so far to say depression, because that's a long-term thing that you'd have to know more about, but maybe some pessimism here.
I think
the lines go downwards, right? The sentence.
Yes. Almost everyone, to a degree or another, go.
And the endings curve down even more.
Yes. Especially if you look here.
There's depression, but it looks like he's got a lot of zingers going at other people.
A lot of zingers.
A lot of them.
I remember him posting in social media that he was really upset with people, and that he didn't feel like people are who they say they are. it wasn't aimed at me. It was aimed at somebody I don't know. And a batch of failed dates. So then looking at the handwriting, you know, there may need to find either look in another batch of people or look within for some answers. But you can see here's this R that has the Greek E in it, and there are a couple of others in here too. So he's not a dummy. There's another one.
Mm.
Not a dummy, but
I think he's
fairly,
quick to react with a nasty remark.
yep. You see a lot of Sharpie points in here. So I have a couple more that, let's see here. Here's one that came across there. They're not in the chapter, but I thought these were, oh, this is, let me get the other one first. These two girls are sisters. And I'm teaching a class, I'm teaching introductory classes in the community. So everybody's bringing me their family, all their family members, and taking a look at that. And it's been a lot of fun. They're really learning a lot. So I got, oh goodness, where'd you go?
All the A's
Okay.
in that have a little tint on them.
Mhm.
Yes, look at that, right?
Every one
Oh,
of them.
yeah.
But if you look really close, they're very fluent tense, and she's got it open here. So she's been in the habit for years and years of doing a covering, a protective stroke, and she's got some retracing in her ends, and not a lot here, but so those kinds of things, retracing in M's and N's, are protective. The cover stroke on the A's are protective, but these are so well rehearsed, they're almost not doing their job now because they're open.
But all the E's are closed.
And all these are closed. Yeah, let me see. I think there may be another one over here that's open, but I think because this was the first word, it stayed way open, and then after that, she closed them up.
Yeah, it's pretty much a form writing. Form.
Yes, yeah.
Mhm.
So this is the one sister. Let's go to the other sister, and
How
she
old
wrote
was
the
she
same.
when she wrote that?
These girls are in their 40s.
Okay.
They just wrote them like 2 weeks ago or something like
Okay.
that. So this is the other sister, the same words.
Mhm.
And she doesn't have the cover stroke. She's got a little jab, but not cover strokes.
Much more
And her
mature
E's.
writing, I think.
Yes, quite a bit.
Less rigid
And
than the previous.
A little more release.
She's more comfortable with herself.
Yes.
A
Yeah.
little bit artistic too, I think.
Yeah, I think both of them are pretty good with aesthetics and take pride in how things look and how they look.
Yeah.
So-
She seems to be a little more balanced. Now I'm going to pop back onto the other one now that you've seen
Now,
that.
Lauren, I just wanted to point out it is at the top of the
Ooh.
hour, about a minute after.
Yeah.
Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it goes by fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to unshare then.
Good samples.
Yeah, I thought
there's some great
they
samples
really,
here.
Thank you so
Maybe-
much.
Yes.
well,
Sorry,
yeah.
I'm just thinking maybe you could send some to Judy for to look at on
Oh, sure.
one of our weekly things that are really fascinating, and especially the relationship stuff, like between sisters or between things like that, and people you might know. Maybe
Oh, yeah.
because there's so many samples you have.
Oh, I have,
Yes.
yeah. Well, like everybody, I finally started scanning and cataloging. I had stacks, physical stacks. I scanned and cataloged a lot of them.
Wow.
And so it makes it a lot easier. Yeah, I'll send Judy some. I've been sending some to Trisha of my celebrities and musicians, actors, and
Yes.
all, so that we can have them in our AHAP library.
Excellent.
And then when someone needs to get sample of somebody, it will be there, hopefully.
Nope. Don't forget to look for
working on it.
Cesar Chavez's writing.
Oh, yes.
It
Yes,
would be
yes.
interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
I just
Lauren,
saw some yesterday.
I was going to mention something about you were earlier talking about perspective and visions of past and future. And somebody wrote a thing about driving a car. The windshield is quite big because we need to see into the future of what's happening. The rearview mirror is quite small, but it's there for reference. So maybe that would give a kind of a perspective of what would be workable.
Yeah.
So somebody isn't completely stuck in the past.
Good comparison. Yeah. Yeah. I give all my students a page that has past and history on the top and the left side, and the right and the bottom say future and goals, so that they can visualize where handwriting sits on a page and how that affects their analysis of a handwriting. I mean, first glance, first thing you see is where it's at without even reading it. So
Well, excellent, Lauren.
Wonderful. Thanks, Lauren.
And that was such a good
thank you.
explanation of cover up, that you started with. It's a great way to understand the whole concept. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
everybody.
Lauren.
Thank you,
you.
guys.
Thank
We'll
Thank
let
you,
you
Victor,
go.
for hosting this.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Gotta
love
run.
it. I do it for myself.
And
Very
for
fun.
us.
Yes.
We're gonna
I'm glad
see
you
more
can
of all,
enjoy
yeah.
it with me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Take
Thank
care,
you.
Lauren.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
Yeah.
Hey, Charlie,
Bye.
are you in
I'll close
Hawaii?
up so Lauren can get.
Are you in Hawaii, Charlie? Are you in Hawaii, Charlie?
Me or
Yeah, your background's
no.
all Hawaiian.
Oh, I found my screen of backgrounds, and I found a way
Oh.
to just add the background up
I
there.
thought
so
you were
no-
going to in
That's a
Hawaii, and I was
great
going to
one.
ask if you had a guest room.
Hey, I'd invite you over if I had one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. See you later, Carl.
You
Okay.
guys take care. I'll send you an email, Ruth, and we can schedule a time.
Okay, thank
Can
you.
you ju-
They just turned off the electricity from my house, so I disappeared.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
The one with the
Okay.
Cubans.
Oh, this is recorded, so we'll see ya. Take care.
Okay.